Buddy. My name is Samir Rohadia, and I'm working as a business intelligence developer and also IT trainer, freelance basis. So here I'll be starting with the first tutorial on Microsoft Excel. So I'll be giving you an overview of this Microsoft Excel and then how it's all started. We'll be talking about the history part of Microsoft Excel. And then after this particular tutorial, then we will shift to the practical part. And second tutorial then will be focusing on the various other parameters and the features of Excel. So let us start with this first video on Microsoft Excel tutorials. So let us go to our presentation. So first of all, we'll be talking about what is a spreadsheet, because as you know that Microsoft Excel is also known as a spreadsheet. It is an example of a spreadsheet. So let us see what you mean by a spreadsheet. A spreadsheet is an electronic document in which data is arranged in the rows and columns of a grid and can be manipulated and used in calculations. So you can say that a spreadsheet is just like a table, and table is consisting of rows and columns. The table is also known as a grid over here. So whenever we want to put the data in a table which is consisting of rows and columns, so that kind of thing is known as a spreadsheet. Data in a spreadsheet can be numeric values as well as text, formulas, references, and functions. So as we know that in case of Microsoft Excel also, we can insert the numbers, tags, dates, currencies, we can put the formulas, we can give some references. Yeah, we'll be also talking in the further videos about the various kind of references available in Microsoft Excel. And then we'll be also focusing on the functions, because functions are very, very important in Microsoft Excel. You should have a good grip on functions. So that is, all these things are covered in this spreadsheet. Now the various examples of spreadsheet are, the very famous example is Lotus 123. I don't know that how many of you have heard about Lotus 123. So Lotus 123 was one of the oldest spreadsheet software. It was very, very popular in, you can say, 70s and 80s. And this Lotus 123 was a product of IBM. And before Microsoft Excel, this was the product that people were using. We are having Lotus 123, then we are having Microsoft Excel, Google Sheet. Nowadays, Google Sheet is very, very popular. And definitely you must be knowing the basic difference between the Google Sheet and Microsoft Excel. So that will cover in the other video. So these are the three popular examples of spreadsheet. Definitely Microsoft Excel is the popular tool over here. Everybody is talking about Microsoft Excel. Everybody is using Microsoft Excel. So Microsoft Excel is one of the most widely used spreadsheet, and definitely it is covered in the Microsoft Office suite. Most common uses of spreadsheet are to create budget. Yeah, when this spreadsheet started, the main focus of the spreadsheet was on the accounting and finance department. Okay, so majorly these two departments, they were using this spreadsheet, and they wanted to create some budgets, create some financial statements. We are having the profit and loss account and then the balance sheet, and then it is also used for creating the charts and graphs. As we know that in case of Microsoft Excel also, we can create the charts and graphs, and plus we are also using the same spreadsheet for storing the data. So these are the common uses of spreadsheet. Now within the business scenario also, we are using the spreadsheet for forecasting the future values, future performance. We are using it for calculating the taxes and calculating the payroll within the company. It is also used for creating the charts and calculating the revenues. Now this is all about the spreadsheet. What is spreadsheet and what we can use in spreadsheet, or how we can use in spreadsheet. So here we are having a brief introduction about spreadsheet and what we can do in spreadsheet. Now let us go to our main tool that is known as Microsoft Excel. As we know that Microsoft Excel is one of the most popular tool available in the data analytics market. It has been considered as the world standard, because whenever a new tool is coming up, whenever a new spreadsheet is coming up, then they are definitely having the focus on the Microsoft Excel, that what are the features which are available in Microsoft Excel and how we can incorporate into our
Ein CRM-System sollte Ihre Teams nicht ausbremsen.
Spreadsheet software. So Microsoft Excel, as we know that it's also an electronic spreadsheet program used for storing, organizing, and manipulating the data. Whenever we are entering the data into Microsoft Excel, then we are having the cell, and a cell is consisting of rows and columns. So that we'll see further in the practical part in the next video. Data can be text, numbers, formulas. Yeah, it can be date also. Formulas are used to calculate the data found in other cells. So we know that there are, in case of Microsoft Excel, we are having a lot of functions and formulas, and we use those things to do some calculations here. I always say that we have to be very much proficient in the various functions which are available in Excel. Microsoft originally marketed a spreadsheet program called Multiplan in 1982. So before Microsoft Excel came, the Microsoft company, they launched a tool which was known as Multiplan, and they launched in 1982. That Multiplan was also a spreadsheet program. Problem with this Multiplan was this, that Multiplan was very popular in Europe, but in US, it was very well overtaken by the Lotus 123. Now, just to tell you that Lotus 123 is a software from IBM. So I don't know whether still it is currently available or not. Maybe you can write down in the comment section that whether this Lotus 123 is still available or not. This Multiplan software could not withstand the popularity of Lotus 123. That's why it was totally a failure product from Microsoft. Then came Excel. So after Multiplan was a failure, Microsoft launched Excel. The first version was known as Excel 1.0. Very surprising, it was released for the Apple Macintosh. They were not having the first version of Windows. They were having the first version for the Microsoft Excel first version was for the Mac people. And it was launched in 1985. And the first Windows version was released in November 1987. So almost after 2 years, the Windows version was launched of Microsoft Excel. Now, let us see that what are the various uses of Microsoft Excel. This is here, I'm giving you a brief idea. So Microsoft Excel, as I've already mentioned earlier, that is used for doing some mathematical calculations and you have to find some values, create some kind of formula. We want to find some average, sum, count, mean, max, percentage, etc. As we know that Microsoft Excel, it's having an immense feature. Okay, there are a lot of features which are available in Microsoft Excel, and I don't know whether you have seen that book on Microsoft Excel. It is known as Microsoft Excel Bible. So I remember my MBA days when I saw that particular book in my library, and it was very, very thick. Today also, if you search on various platforms, so you will be seeing the Microsoft Excel Bible. Sometimes it's very, very difficult to go through all the pages of that book. So I would say that even in Microsoft Excel, if you are having, let's say, just 30 to 40% of the knowledge of Microsoft Excel, I think so it is still you are considered as a guru in Microsoft Excel, because covering all the 100% of Microsoft Excel, I would not say that it's impossible, but yes, it is not so easy. So Microsoft Excel is also used for the charts, graphs. It is also used as a database where we can store the data, where we can clean the data. There is also a separate section in Microsoft Excel which is known as Power Query. That also I'll be covering in the future videos, that what kind of thing that we can do in Power Query, what kind of data cleaning, data transformation we can do in Microsoft Excel. So that we'll see in the further videos. Now, when we are talking about Microsoft Excel, then we are also having these various terminologies. So we are having terminologies like workbook and worksheet. So what is workbook and what is worksheet? So in Excel, we perform work in a workbook. So whenever we open a Microsoft Excel file, that file is known as a workbook. Now within the workbook, we may have various worksheets. Okay, so whatever the sheets that we are having in Microsoft Excel in a particular workbook, they are known as worksheet. So here it is said that we can have as many workbooks open as we need, and each one appears in its own window. So if we are opening 3-4 workbooks, then they will open up in different windows, and we can simultaneously work with those different workbooks I'm talking about, not worksheet. The Excel workbook is having the extension .xls, okay, XLSX. Earlier it was known as .xls. Now it is having the extension .xlsx. So that is the file extension for the current Microsoft Excel file. Each workbook contains one or more worksheet. So as I said earlier, that we are having different worksheets, and those worksheets are part of a particular workbook. Each worksheet consists of individual cells, so there are so many cells. Each cell can contain a number, formula, text, date. A worksheet also has an invisible drawing layer which holds charts, images, and diagrams. So this is also a very good feature in Microsoft Excel, that if I want to paste a particular chart, if I want to paste an image, if I want to paste some kind of a diagram, then that is also possible in case of Microsoft Excel. Yeah, so that will be coming up in the future videos on Microsoft Excel. So stay tuned, because this Microsoft Excel is one of the most important tool in the data analytics. Yeah, I have been conducting a lot of trainings, especially whenever I'm discussing with the students, the university students, then I always say that you have to have a good command on Microsoft Excel. Even let's say you are learning Microsoft Power BI, Tableau, yeah, Looker Studio, MicroStrategy, but I would say that the knowledge of Microsoft Excel is very, very important. It is used by all the companies, including I have seen in case of German companies also, they are still using Microsoft Excel, even though the latest tools have come up here. But I would say that you should be having a good command on Microsoft Excel. So one by one, you can go through these videos which are part of this tutorial and try to gain knowledge out of it and try to do a lot of practice, yeah, because practice makes man perfect. So please do a lot of practice and have a good grip on Microsoft Excel.
This is Pod 5, the first fully immersive sleep system. Intelligent.
Now, each worksheet in the workbook is accessible by clicking the tab at the bottom of the workbook. So we'll also see practically what I mean by this particular two things. But as you must have seen that in the case of Excel, at the bottom area, we are having sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, etc. So this is what we are talking about. So we can click on the various tabs at the bottom of the workbook, and then I can go from sheet 1 to sheet 2 to sheet 3 and so on. So this is the brief idea about the workbooks and the worksheets. See, when you open the Microsoft Excel, so I'm having the Microsoft 365 version. I always say that you should be having the latest version of Microsoft Excel. If you are having, let's say, very old versions like Excel 2010 or 2013 or 2016, then please try to replace that old version with the new version. And if you are able to manage, then please try to go for the Microsoft 365. Yeah, Microsoft 365, you know that it's having the monthly subscription, so you can pay for it, and it is very, very nominal. Yeah, just try to take it as an investment. So please try to go for the latest version of Microsoft Excel, and whatever I'll be showing you, those various functions, there are a lot of new functions which are coming up in Microsoft Excel, and those functions are always available in the Microsoft 365 version. If you are opening the old file, old version, then definitely you will not find those functions. So this is the screenshot of the Microsoft 365 Excel. When you open the Microsoft Excel, then you get this first screen of Microsoft Excel, and here you can see the blank workbooks. We'll be also seeing the various templates in the practical part in the next video. So this is the first screen of Microsoft Excel. When we click on this blank workbook, then this main screen comes over here in the Microsoft Excel. Just now we'll see the theoretical part here in this particular presentation, and then we'll be focusing on the practical part. So here we are having the quick access toolbar that we'll see. We are having the various tabs, the ribbons. Yeah, we are having the title bar over here, formula bar is over here. We are having the search functions. Whenever you want to find a particular feature in Microsoft Excel, and sometimes it's very difficult to find in these various tabs. So what you can do, you can use this search facility over here. So that also we'll see practically. Then we are having here the ribbons and window controls, collapsing, the ribbon button, etc. This is the main area, the sheet, where we are having the cell is consisting of the rows and columns, sheet tabs here, status bar. If you want to create a new sheet, then we have to click this plus sign over here. These are the page view buttons, horizontal scroll bar, vertical scroll bar. Here we can zoom the Microsoft Excel sheet. Yeah, so this is a good amount of overview about the main screen of Microsoft Excel. So with that, I would like to end this particular video, and in this video we have seen a good introduction about Microsoft Excel. We have talked about the history of Microsoft Excel, how it started, and then what are the initial features about Microsoft Excel. Now in the next video, we'll be starting with the practical part, and then we'll be seeing the main screen, the first screen. We'll be seeing how to enter the data. We'll be seeing how to create the various tabs and ribbons in Microsoft Excel and other things. So stay tuned and see you in the next video. Thank you very much. Hello friends, my name is Samir Oadia. So welcome to this particular video. This video is an extension of my previous video which talked about the various use cases of text to columns. So if you have not seen this video, then please watch this my previous video. The link is available on the top. In this video, I'll be talking about that how we can use the CSV file and how we can bring the data from the CSV file to the Microsoft Excel. It is not so easy. So I will show you the way of bringing that data from CSV to the Microsoft Excel Excel in a very simple manner. So please stay tuned to this video and we will start with this concept of bringing the data from CSV to the Microsoft Excel. But before that, I would like to explain you that what is CSV, how it is different from Microsoft Excel, and then where we can use this CSV format. So let us start. So here in this folder, I have kept two files. That is, one is the CSV file. CSV stands for comma separated value file. So here we are having the Microsoft Excel comma separated values file, and another one is the normal Microsoft Excel worksheet. This is just the first thing that I wanted to show you, that how it is looking and how it is shown in the folder. Now what we'll be doing, that we'll be starting with first of all a brief introduction about what is CSV, where we can use the CSV, how it is different from Microsoft Excel, because that is very, very important to understand. So let us go for the differences.
Was wird dein nächster Blockbuster-Moment sein? Die nächste
So here I'm having one article which I've taken from DataCamp platform. So I'll be putting the link of this article in the description. You can check it out. Now in this article, it is talking about the differences between the CSV and the Excel. So first of all, we'll start with a quick summary of the major differences. So CSV. Use CSV when you need a lightweight, universally compatible format for straightforward data exchange between different systems and software applications. So whenever you want to have a data set which is very light and which you can connect with various softwares, then definitely you can use the CSV. While Excel, it says that use Excel when you require robust data analysis capabilities, including complex calculations, visualizations, integrated data manipulation tools within a user-friendly interface. So you can say that Excel is much more advanced compared to the CSV, because in Excel, it is not just for storing the data, it is also for, let's say, you can create the data, you can store the data, you can do the various analysis over there, you can do a lot of formatting in Excel, you can apply the various calculations over there, you can create the charts and graphs. So Excel is much more advanced compared to the CSV. Now we'll see that where are CSV and Excel files used. So CSV and Excel files are essential in data analysis and decision making. So whenever you are talking about the data analytics, definitely we have to talk about the CSV and the Excel files. They help you organize, analyze, and present data efficiently. So it is for the data management. Now if we come directly to the significance of CSV files, so CSV files are used for data exchange. So here it is written, CSV files are often used to transfer the data between applications, databases, and platforms. Their simplicity ensures that the data can be read and processed by various systems regardless of the software used. So here it is not binded to a particular software. We can use this CSV file. We can connect with any software. Let's say if I want to connect to Power BI, if I want to connect to Excel, if I want to connect to Tableau or any other data visualization tool, it can be done very easily. So first significance is data exchange. The second one is the data storage. So in the data storage, CSV files provide a straightforward way to store large data sets without the overhead of additional software. They are particularly useful for archiving data or sharing it across different teams and organizations. If you want to store it, if you want to put it in the archive, we can use this CSV format very easily. It is also used for the data import and export. Normally all the data scientists, data engineer, data analysts, they are using this CSV format, and this we can use it in Python, R, SQL, all these software, they support the CSV format. Now we come to the significance of Excel files. So Excel files are used for data manipulation. We can perform very complex calculations over there. We can transform the data. So one by one, we'll be going into detail in this particular playlist. So if you have not subscribed to the playlist, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe this channel, and you can also watch the playlist on Microsoft Excel. Microsoft Excel is used for the data manipulation. Then we have the data visualizations. So as you know, in Excel, we can create various kind of charts and graphs. So that will be also part of this particular playlist. Then we can do the data analysis. We can use the various tool packs which are available, and we can do in-depth analysis in Excel. And the last one is the reporting. So we can create a very beautiful Excel dashboard, and we can give it to the user, and then the business user can use it for taking some decisions. So remember that all these things will be also having in this playlist. One by one, I'll be putting those videos, and please watch those videos. Now CSV, as I said, that CSV, it means that comma separated values. So remember this short form, comma, separated values file. It is a plain text format where each line represents a row of data and commas separate the values within each row. This plain text format makes CSV files easy to read and write, both by humans and computers. For example, a CSV file containing data about books might look like this. So I can give you an example. So let me bring here Notepad. So if you want to create a CSV file, then normally we use the Notepad. Now in the Notepad, suppose if I want to create a data set for the employee, so I can create in the notepad like this. So in the first line, I'll be writing the titles of the column. So I'll be starting with employee number, then I'll put comma, then I'll write down here employee first name, maybe something like this, short form, comma, and then I'll write down here employee last name, comma, then we'll be having the location, suppose, comma, and then we can also write down the department, and so on. I can create so many columns. Okay, so just now I'm keeping it very simple. So in the first line, we always write down the title of all the columns. Now I go to the next column here, and now I should start creating the data set. So I'll be starting with, let's say, employee number 001, comma, then employee first name, let's say I write down my name, Samir, comma, Rohadia is my last name, comma, location, Germany, comma, let's say I'm in IT department. Now I go to the next row, and in the next row now I'm typing the details of another employee, 002, comma, Tony, comma, Blair. Okay, Blair is the last name, comma, then I write down here UK, comma, marketing, and so on. Okay, so this is how we create a CSV file, and then I have to save this file as a .csv. .csv is the extension of the CSV file, and then once this CSV file is created, then I can use this CSV file with some other softwares. So this is how we create a CSV file. Creating the CSV file is very easy. It's not complex. And here remember that we cannot do that much of formatting that what we have in Excel. If I want to bold all the column titles, then here it is not possible, but in case of Excel it is possible. A little bit I can bold here. Let's say now this option is available here, bold. Now it is possible because earlier this feature was not available, but now we are having here bold, italics. I can put here link here. Yeah, I can clear the formatting. I can also change the heading here. Let's say if I want to make it bigger, I can click over here. I can select here subheading, so it will become big, or I can make the title so it will be very big. So these kind of standard options are available here, and I can also go for the bullet. So whether I want to have the bulleted list or numbered list, this also I can do it over here. But normally in the CSV file, we don't do that kind of formatting. We keep it very simple without formatting. Now after this, let us come back over here. So advantages of CSV. So CSV, as I said earlier, it's a plain text format, so it is very easy to create, very easy to store. Then compatibility, as I said, that the CSV file is compatible with all the softwares, so it can be used very well. Then human readable, plain text format of CSV files makes them easy to read and understand without specialized software. We don't require a special software to read that file. It's very easy to understand. And the last one here is efficiency. CSV files are efficient in terms of storage space, as they do not include any formatting or metadata beyond the data itself. So I'll also show you one example that suppose if I'm having a CSV file, and from the CSV file if I create a Excel file, then we'll compare the size of both the files. Okay, which one is bigger, which one is smaller, that we'll see practically. Then we are having the limitations of CSV. So limitations are that it does not support that much of formatting. Yeah, I cannot give the color to the font here. Yeah, I cannot apply the various styles over here. Let's say in case of Excel, we are having various font styles. We are having Times New Roman, Arial, Calibri, etc. So I cannot create a cell border. CSV file is just containing a very basic formatting, like we saw just now, bold, italics, increasing the font size, that's all. Then lack of advanced features. So as we know that in case of Excel, we can create pivot tables, we can do data validation and all those things, but in case of CSV it is not possible. Then limited data handling. So CSV files are not well suited for very large data set or highly complex data structures. So they are best suited for simple flat data tables. So for simple flat tables, it is also known as flat tables here. For simple flat tables, we can create a CSV file, but suppose if you want to have a very large data set, then definitely it is not possible here. Then we have to use Microsoft Excel. And the last one here is potential for data corruption. If the data itself contains commas, care must be taken to properly escape these characters to prevent errors in reading or writing the file. So whenever we'll be reading this file, let's say if I want to read the file in Excel, then we have to take a little bit of care here. So that we'll see practically. Now you have got a very good idea about what is CSV and how it is different from Microsoft Excel. Now we will go for the practical part. So here we are having one CSV file, that is employee database. I'll be just opening this file. So when I double click this CSV file, then it is opened like this in Microsoft Excel. So here I can make it bigger, and it is containing some records over here. In the first row, we are having the column title. So we are having employee ID, first name, last name, gender, role, department, experience, country, continent, salary, employee rating, and manager ID. So these are the various columns that we are having in CSV file. Now we want to convert this CSV into a proper Excel table. So you can see that it is easy to read, but then everything is clubbed in one particular cell. So if I click here, this A1 cell, then in A1 cell, I'm having all these things. If I go to here, A2 cell, then in A2 cell, I'm having all these things written in only one cell. Now I don't want to see like this. I want to see the data in proper format in a particular table. So now what we can do here, we will use here the text to column option. So first of all, you have to select all this record. You don't have to select only one cell, A1 cell, but you have to select all the record. So what you can do, you can put your pointer over here. You can select this cell A1, and then after selecting A1 cell, then what we have to do, we have to press Control A, Control plus A shortcut. So I press Control plus A. We can see that all these records are selected. There are total 20 records. So after selecting all these records, we go to the data tab. As we know in the previous video that we go to the data tab, and in the data tab, we click this button here known as text to columns. So I click this button text to columns, and now here we are having this wizard that is for the text to column. So as we have seen in the previous video, here we have to select either delimited or fixed width. Now in our case, we'll be using here delimited, because what is our delimiter here? The delimiter here, it is comma, because see, after every one particular information there is a comma, and that's why it is known as comma separated value file. So we'll go with the delimited option here. Then I click here next button. After selecting this next, now we have to select here that what is our delimiter. So our delimiter is comma. So I put here comma. I remove this other because here we don't have at the rate, we have here comma. So after selecting comma here as the delimiter, now you can see that we are having these various columns. You can see as a preview. And now after seeing this preview, we go to the next option. And now here we are having the columns. And now I can decide that what should be the data type of each of the column. Just now we'll keep it everywhere general. And now after doing this thing, we have to also select the destination. So by default, the destination here, it is $A, $1. That is this cell, first cell. So I'll keep it the same. And after that, I click on the finish button. Now, before you click on the finish button, suppose if you want to change the destination, you can change the destination by clicking this arrow sign here. And then here I can select, let's say, M1 cell. If the table should start from M1, I can select here M1, and then it can show all the columns starting from that M1 cell. But I don't want to select here M1. I'll be selecting here A1 cell, the original cell. And after I select here A1, in this dialog box, I'll click this down arrow button, and now I'm back in the wizard. So here now my destination is equal to $A, $1. Now I click on finish button. So here we can see the proper columns. So we are having here employee ID, first name, last name, gender, role, department, experience, country, continent, salary, employee rating, and manager ID. Now see, some of the columns we are not able to see all those values. So what you can do, that either you can go to each of the column. Let's say I'm not able to see all these roles here, then I can go to this column, and now I can click over here. Yeah, between the E and F, there is a area here. I double click. When I double click, now you can see that that column has expanded. Now suppose if you want to do for all the columns like this, then simply you have to select all these columns from A to L, and then here after this L, means between L and M, I have to double click here, and now you see that all columns have expanded together. So these are the various shortcuts which are having here. So now I can do all the formatting, because now it is in Excel. I'm having various columns, so I can select all these titles here. I can make it here bold. I can also increase the size of the title. So now all these things are possible. So see, this is how we bring the CSV file into Excel, and then we convert that CSV file into a proper Excel table. This was the practical example. Now we'll save this file. So I will click on File, Save As, Browse, and then here I'll give the same name, Employee DB. Now here I have to select the type of the file. So instead of CSV, I will click it, and now after clicking this drop down, I will select here the first option. In my case, it is Excel Workbook. So I select here Excel Workbook. So I click on Save, and now my file is saved. I've closed the file, and now you can see that we are having here the Microsoft Excel worksheet. So here you can see the size of both the files. The normal CSV file, its size is just 2 KB, and the Excel file that we created just now, you see the size, it is 12 KB. So little bit this file size has increased. So normally this will always be there, that whatever the file size you have for the CSV, and then when you convert the CSV into an Excel file, the Excel file will be always bigger. So this is also one of the limitation of Excel. In case of CSV, even though we have many records, but still the file size will be smaller compared to the Microsoft Excel. That's why people are more using CSV file, okay, especially for the data storage. And CSV is also having one limitation, that in CSV, I cannot create various sheets. Just like in Excel, we have various sheets like sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, sheet 4, and in all the sheets I can put the data. But in the CSV file, I'm having only one window for that notepad, and in that one window, I can create one table only. So this is also the major difference between the CSV file and the Excel file. So now friends, in the next video, we'll be talking about the various kinds of flash fill and the advanced filling. So see you in the next video. Thank you very much. So friends, welcome back. In this video, I'll be showing you that what kind of various options that we have when we want to adjust the worksheet, how we can insert a new worksheet, how we can delete it, how we can modify it, how we can move or copy the sheet, how we can put the tab color. So all those things we'll be seeing in this particular video. So let us start. I'm having one Excel file where there are some of the sheets over here. We have already seen in the previous video relative reference, absolute reference, and mixed reference. If you have not seen this particular video, please watch out this video. I'm putting the link on the top. Apart from these three sheets here, I'm also having three more sheets, that is sales, profit, and discount sheet. Currently it is not having any kind of data. Now let us start with one of the sheet, and when I right click over here on this name, when we right click here, then we have these various options. We are having here insert, delete, rename, move or copy, view code, protect sheet, tab color, hide. Unhide currently is not available, but we can check this one. Then select all sheet, link to this sheet, and show changes. Now first of all, we'll start with this first option, insert. Suppose I'm already having here total 6 sheets, but if I want to insert a new sheet, then I can click here this option, insert. So either I can click this insert option, or I can also click here this plus sign. Both are fine. So let me click here insert. When I click on insert, then it is showing me here these options like worksheet, chart, MS Excel macro, international macro sheet, MS Excel dialog. Normally we'll go with the worksheet. We go with the default selection, that is known as worksheet. I click on OK button, and now you can see that we are having the sheet 1. Now once we have brought this particular sheet, now if I want to rename this sheet, by default it will be sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, but let's say I want to rename this sheet. Either I can double click here, or I can right click here, and I can go with this option rename. Both are same. So normally I double click, and now here I give the name, that is quantity. This is my quantity sheet. I press enter. So now this new sheet is known as quantity sheet. Yeah, I can also right click here, rename, and now I can rename this particular sheet. So we have seen the insert sheet and the renaming of the sheet. Now if I want to delete this sheet, very simple, right click, and then I go for this option delete. I click on delete, and now it is gone. So my quantity sheet is now deleted. Now let us see some other options here. So if I right click, then we have this option known as move or copy. So if I click on move or copy, then here we have this option that currently I am in the relative reference sheet. So now it says that where I want to put this relative reference, where I want to move this relative reference, whether I want to move before, here it is written move before sheet. So whether I want to move before sales or profit or absolute reference, where I would like to move it. So let's say if I select the sales before sales sheet, I click on OK button. Now you can see that the relative reference sheet is now before the sales sheet. So this is how we can move it. We can also move it with the help of the mouse. I can put my pointer here, and with the left button mouse, now I can go like this. Suppose if I want to put this relative reference between sales and profit sheet, I can bring it over here, and then I release my mouse button, and now you can see that relative reference sheet is now between the sales sheet and the profit sheet. So with the help of mouse also this is possible that I can move the sheet. Now suppose if I want to create a copy of this relative reference sheet, yeah, many times we want to copy it and then we want to modify that copied version, then that is also possible. So I can right click over here on one of these sheet, I go to move or copy, and then now here I have to tell Excel that for which sheet I want to create a copy. So I will select here this relative reference sheet, and now I click this option create a copy. This is very important. You have to put this tick mark here, create a copy for this relative reference sheet. and now I click on OK button, and here we can see that we are now having the two sheets for the relative reference. One is known as normal relative reference and the other one is known as relative reference 2. Now here I can definitely modify, I can give some different name, and this is how we copy the sheet. Now let us see further option. So if I right click here, after this move or copy, we are having view code. If I click on view code, it will open up this particular new window, and here it is Visual Basic. Now see, if you already know Visual Basic, you can go for this one, but as such it's not required over here in Excel. So I will close this window. So this is that view code. Now protect sheet. Now see friends, I'll be creating a separate video about the various protection mechanisms that we have in Excel. So I'll be showing you in that particular video how to protect the workbook, how to protect the worksheet, how to protect the cell. These three topics I'll be covering in a separate video. So please stay tuned to this series on Microsoft Excel. So protect sheet I'll be showing you separately. Then we have the tab color. Now see, this is very important, tab color. So see here we are having various sheets. Now see, I want to give some specific color to a particular group of sheets. Let's say all this reference sheet I want to give a specific color. What I can do, I can select this relative reference first of all, right click, go to tab color. In the tab color I can select one color. Let's say I select here this orange color. So orange color is now applied over here. Now see, when the tab is active, then the color will be shown very light. But as soon as I go to the another tab, now you see the color is very dark. Now the same color I want to give it to the absolute reference. So again I right click here, tab color, give this color mix reference, right click, tab color, the same color. And what I can do here, I can also give some colors to these small sheets like sales, profit, discount. Okay, so I go for sales, right click, tab color, I give some blue color here. Similarly profit also. Yeah, I can definitely give a different color also, but just now I'm giving all these things one color. So yeah, this relative reference 2, I'll keep it like that. But now you can see that we are having these different colors. So what happens that sometimes in one particular Excel file you are having some sheets related to HR, some sheets related to production, some sheets are related to the marketing. So if you are having, let's say 30-40 sheets, then it is very confusing. Then you have to go to each and every sheet and you have to check the data. Instead of that, you can give this tab color. You can define that, okay, for marketing I'll give blue color, for finance I'll give some green color, for HR I'll give some yellow color. Okay, so likewise you can define, and then what happens that when you see the different colors, then it is very easy to identify the sheets which are having some kind of connection. Now hide. So suppose if I want to hide this relative reference sheet, I don't want to show it to the other people, so I can go to this relative reference 2 sheet, right click, and I click on here hide. When I click here hide, so see, now my relative reference 2 is gone. It is hidden basically. I have not deleted, but it's hidden. Now suppose if I want to bring that sheet back, so I will right click on any one of this current sheet, right click, and now I have to click on here unhide if I want to bring that relative reference 2 sheet. So when I right click here on one of the sheet, I go to this unhide. When I click on unhide, now it is showing me here that okay, which sheet you want to unhide. Sometimes it's possible that you are hiding, let's say 3-4 sheets. So whether you want to unhide all the sheets or you want to unhide only one sheet, that you can decide. Here in our example, we have hidden only one sheet. So I'll go with this sheet, relative reference 2. I click on OK button, and now you can see that the relative reference 2 is back. Now it is not hidden. So this is what we mean by hide and unhide. Then we have here this option select all sheet. So if I click on select all sheet, then all these sheets are selected together, and I'll also show you another example that how we can use this select all sheet, but in a different manner. So here all the sheets are selected. I can click anywhere over here. Another option, it is link to this sheet. So if I click on this option link to this sheet, then here it will create a link. Yeah, I'll click on copy. Now see, this link, whatever it is giving me, this is giving me the OneDrive link. Now remember that first of all, if you want to have this link option, you have to save this file in the OneDrive. You should have the OneDrive access, then only this possible. Let me select the browser here, and now if I paste that link which I've copied, I press enter. So now you can see that it has opened in the browser in the OneDrive, and now it is showing me the same file here. So this is how we can get this particular thing that is known as link to this sheet. Then we have the last option here, show changes. So I'll give you an example. Let's say if I typed here Germany, then I type here Nepal, then I type here Bhutan, Cambodia, Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka. I have typed some names over here of the countries. Now what I'll do that let me delete some names here. Let's say I delete here Germany, Cambodia, India. So I've deleted some names over here. Now what I'll do that if I right click over here and if I go to this option show changes, if I click on show changes, so here it is showing me those changes. First of all, it is mentioning here inserted sheet. I've inserted a new sheet here. Then I've typed here Germany, Nepal, Bhutan, Cambodia, Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka. And then here it is showing me that what thing I've deleted. Now actually it is not that easy to understand that what you have deleted. But yeah, just now we have deleted, so those things are available over here. But here it is not specifically mentioning that okay, we have deleted this particular thing. So India, it says here it was I8, so it was here I8, so now it is empty. But here we can get some information that in the I8 there was India, I6 here there was Cambodia written, so at least we can guess something. So whatever the things that you do here, and if you want to see later on that okay, what you have done here, then you can see all these changes here. Now the last thing over here, which is very important, that suppose if I'm having here these three sheets, sales, profit and discount, and in all the three sheets I want to do some common formatting. Now if I want to do a common formatting, then what we do that we go to one particular sheet, we do the formatting, and then we copy that formatting to the other sheet. But you can also do it simultaneously. If you want to do some formatting, if you want to insert some data in all the three sheets together, then there is a possibility. So for that, what we do that I select here sales sheet, then I press the control button, I select here profit sheet, again press control button, then I select here discount sheet. So whichever sheets you want to use it here for your common formatting or common data entry, you can select all these sheets by pressing the control button. After selecting these three sheets here by pressing the control button, now I can go to one of the sheet, and suppose if I write down here my name, so I've written this name in one of the sheet, that is discount sheet. Now if I go to the profit sheet, you see here my name is written. If I go to the sales sheet, my name is written here. Now if I do some formatting here, let's say select some cells, I go to this field color, I give some color here. Now if I go to the sales sheet, it is there. If I go to the profit sheet, it is there. If I go to the discount sheet, it is there. Now if I individually go here, sales, profit, discount, everywhere you are having the same color. So you don't have to do the same thing again and again. And also remember one thing, that when I select these three sheets by pressing the control button, you see here on the top area, the name of the file is written as references dash group. Here we are not able to see that whole word group, but yeah, the group is created. So here we have grouped the three sheet and we are doing the formatting here. So this group is shown over here. But as soon as I select one of the sheet, if I go here, now it is showing me just the file name as references. So friends, here we have seen the different options that we have in the worksheet. How to insert a new sheet, how to delete a sheet, how to rename the sheet, how to move or copy the sheet, how to use the tab color, and how to create the group, and how to do the common formatting. So all those things we have seen in this video. Now in the next video, I'll be talking about the concept known as splitting and the freezing. Let us see each other in the next video. Till then, thank you very much. Microsoft originally marketed a spreadsheet program called Multiplan in 1982. So before Microsoft Excel came, the Microsoft company, they launched a tool which was known as Multiplan, and they launched in 1982. That Multiplan was also a spreadsheet.
Welcome to PIMCore CDP. The PIMCore CDP framework is your secret weapon for powering. Hello all, I hope that you are getting valuable information from my Zero to Hero Microsoft Excel playlist. If you have not watched my playlist, then I put up the link on the top of this video. Kindly check out this playlist. Now, from this video onwards, I'll be focusing on the various logical functions that we have in Microsoft Excel. So let us start with this first series where I'll be talking about the most important and most valuable function in logical area, that is known as if function. So in this video, I'll be talking about the if function, and then we'll also go for the concept known as nested if. So let us see that what is the difference between the if and the nested if. So let us start with the practical part. So here we are having the if function. So first of all, I will give you an overview about what is if function and where we can use it. So the if function in Microsoft Excel is one of the most commonly used logical functions. It allows you to make decisions in your spreadsheet by checking whether a condition is true or false, and then returning different results depending on the outcome. So as I said earlier, that if is a part of the logical functions family, and here we are checking the condition, and if the condition is true, then it should show you some value. If the condition is false, then it should show you some other value. This is the syntax of the if function. Equal to if logical test, we have to check the logical test over here, and then if this logical test is true, then it should show you some value here, and if this logical test is false, then it should show you some other value. So here it is written logical test, the condition that you want to test. Example, let's say A1 is greater than 50. Value if true, what to return if the condition is true. So if the condition is true, then what thing you want to return. And then value if false, what to return if the condition is false. So this is what we mean by the simple if function. Now here I'm having one example where it says that write an if statement in cells C6 to C9 where there are two status, that is over budget and under budget, when actual is greater than budgeted. Now see, here we are having two figures, that is budgeted figure and the actual figure. You can go for any concept like sales or profit or whatever. Here I have to write down the status. It says that when actual is greater than budgeted, then it is over budget. So when this actual is greater than this budgeted value, then here I should get the status over budget. And when actual is less than budgeted, then it is under budget. So when this actual is less than this budgeted value, then definitely it is under budget. So I hope that the problem is very clear to you. Now let us start writing here the formula. So here in this cell that is known as C6 cell, I type formula equal to if, press tab button, so equal to if. Now in the if we have to write down first of all the logical test. So what I have to check here? See, either I can check here whether budgeted value is less than actual value, or I can check whether actual value is greater than budgeted value. Anything I can do it. So let me write down equal to if bracket. Now I will select this cell that is B6. If B6 is greater than A6. If actual is greater than budgeted, then what it is written here, when actual is greater than budgeted, then it is over budget. So I have to put now here comma. Now see, in my Excel, maybe I have mentioned this in the earlier videos also, that I am using the German version of Excel. So in the German version, we don't put here comma, we put here semicolon. But in your case, you have to put comma. If you are not living in Germany, then you have to put here comma. Otherwise, you have to put here semicolon. But mostly I've seen that in Excel versions, you have to put comma. So I put here comma, and now what I have to write down here, value if true. So if this actual value is greater than budgeted value, then what I should get the status over budget. Now see, over budget and this under budget, these two status, these are text. So whenever it is text, we have to put it in double quote. Whenever we want to show some number, then we have to just write down the number. But here over budget and under budget, they are text. So I have to write down here after comma, double quote, over budget, comma. Now value if false. Now if actual value is not greater than budgeted value, then what we have to get? We have to get the status here under budget. So again I put comma, and then after comma I put here double quote. In the double quote I write down here under budget. Double quote complete. Please check this double quote. And now I have to complete the bracket. So see, this is the if function. Very, very easy. So equal to if. Here we are having the B6 cell. If B6 is greater than A6, then should give the status here over budget. And if B6 is less than A6, then it should give the title here under budget. So that is how we write down the if function. I press enter, and now here we see that the status is over budget. Why it is over budget? Because here we are having actual value which is 920, and 920 is greater than 800. So it is over budget. It is above the budget. What will be the status over here? The actual value is 325 and the budgeted value is 375. So actual is less than budgeted, so it is under budget. Now see, here I'll not write down the formula again. What we do, as you know, it's very, very simple. We have to simply drag the formula. So I put my pointer over here, and then I drag the formula, and now here we are getting the answer. Here it is under budget because 325 is less than 375. Here also under budget because 128 is less than 150, and here it is over budget because it is 550 is greater than 450. So friends, this is how we use the if function. Let us go down, and here we are having another example, little bit complex example, but it's not complex, easy to understand. So here I'm having an example where we are having the subject marks of one of the student. You can assume like that. So here we are having the subjects. These are the marks out of 100, and then here I have to get the result. So this is the condition here, that if marks are less than 40, then the result has to be fail. If marks are greater than 40, then it should give the result pass. If the marks are greater than 60, then it should give the result first class. And if the marks are greater than 70, then it should give the result distinction. So these four conditions we have to take care. Now here we can see that the student has got 85 marks out of 100 in physics. So here we should be getting the result, that is distinction, because it is greater than 70. So now let us type the formula with the if function. Now see, here we are having four conditions. In the above example, we were having here only two conditions. So when we are having two conditions, you simply write down like this. We check one here logical test, and then we say if it is true then this, if it is false then this. Here in this example, what we have to do, because we are having here four conditions, so we have a concept known as nested if. What is nested if? Here I have written a nested if in Excel is when you place one if function inside another if function to evaluate multiple conditions in sequence. So here we are having multiple conditions. See, nested if is not a function. Nested if is a concept in Excel. So in nested if, I start with one if function, then inside this if function I write down another if function. So this is what we mean by the nested if. Okay, so remember, again I'm repeating that sentence, that nested if is not a function, it is a concept in Microsoft Excel. So now let us start writing here the nested if. So in this cell, that is C17, I type equal to if function, press tab. See, I can start with anything. I can first of all check whether these marks are greater than 70, then it should give you the result equal to distinction. Then I have to check whether it is greater than 60, greater than 40, less than 40. I can start from anywhere. I can start from the top also. I can start from the bottom also. You can decide. Here I'll start from the bottom. So equal to if bracket. Now see, logical test. What logical test I have to check? I have to check whether these marks, which is written in the cell B17, whether it is greater than 70. If it is greater than 70, then it should give here the result distinction. So let us type equal to if bracket. Now I can select this cell, that is B17. So B17 has come over here. Just click it and B17 will come over here. Now this I have to check whether it is greater than equal to. I have to write down here equal to, because suppose if the student has got exactly 70, then 70 is also considered as distinction. So whether it is greater than or equal to what? 70. Now see, 70 I'm not writing in double quote because it's a number. Whenever we want to check something with some text, then we have to write down in double quote. But here 70 is a number. So if B17 is greater than equal to 70, comma, here I put semicolon, you put comma, then what should be the result? I have to write down in double quote because distinction, first class, pass, fail, these are all text. So I have to write down in double quote. Remember this rule. So in double quote, I write down here distinction, double quote complete, comma. So now I have checked this condition, whether these B17 marks are greater than equal to 70. If it is greater than equal to 70, then it should show you the result distinction. But suppose if this is not greater than equal to 70, then what? Value if false. So now the thing is coming here is value if false. So if this is false, then now what I have to check? Now if the marks are not greater than equal to 70, it means that now the marks will be less than 17. So then I have to write down again if condition, if function, press tab. And now I have to check again the same cell here, that is B17. Now if B17 is greater than equal to 60, now I'm checking whether it is greater than equal to 60. If it is greater than equal to 60, then what? Then I have to put in double quote first class, okay? Because if it is greater than 60, then it is first class, comma. Now suppose if this student marks are not greater than 70, not greater than 60, it means that now the marks are less than 60. So now I have to check one more condition, that whether the student marks are greater than equal to 40. So I type here again another if function, and now in the if function I again select the same cell B17, comma, greater than equal to 40, comma. Now I'm checking whether his or her marks are greater than equal to 40. If it is greater than equal to 40, then what should be the result here? The result has to be pass. Okay, very simple, pass, comma. Now suppose if that student marks are not greater than equal to 40, so it means that the student marks are now less than 40. So now here remember that now I don't have to put again that if function, that whether if B17 is less than 40, because see, if the marks are not greater than 70, if the marks are not greater than equal to 60, if the marks are not greater than equal to 40, then what does it mean? That the marks are less than 40. So now I don't have to write down again the if condition. I have to simply write down here after comma in double quote fail. Okay, so friends, here we have completed the if function. Now what we have to do, we have to complete the brackets because we have not completed the brackets. We have started with some brackets, but now we have to complete the bracket. After this fail, I'll be writing here one bracket, two brackets, and three brackets. Now how do I know that I have to type here three brackets? Because many times you have to complete two brackets, many times you have to complete five brackets, six brackets. It all depends upon how long your formula is there. So remember one simple logic, that in case of Microsoft Excel, the color of the outermost bracket is always black color. So when you start completing the bracket, as soon as you get the black color, it means that you have to stop. That's all. That's the logic. Because inside this black color bracket, we are having different color brackets like red color and purple color, and you may have green color also, blue color also. But remember this logic, that whenever you want to complete the bracket, you have to see that whether the last bracket is of black color. Because in Excel, what happens that suppose if I don't put the correct brackets, then definitely it will give me error. So now I have placed all the three brackets here, and my last bracket color is black color. So now I press enter, and now you see that we are getting the result here, distinction, because it is 85. 85 is greater than 70, so it is distinction. Now I simply drag this formula by putting my pointer over here. I simply drag the formula, and now here we are getting the result. So 85 it is distinction, 65 is first class, 35 is less than 40, so it is fail, 45 it is pass, 75 it is distinction, 55 it is again pass. So friends, this is how we have seen here this simple concept of if function, and we have also seen the nested if. Nested if is not a function, it's a concept. Yeah, so when we are putting one if function inside another if function, then that is known as nested if. Whenever we are having multiple conditions to check, then we go for the nested if. Now in the next video, I'll be showing you the differences between the nested if, and there is one more function which is known as ifs function, IFS if function. So see you in the next video. Thank you very much.
Hello friends, welcome to this video on the two major functions of Excel that is known as isError and ifError. So both these functions are very important if you want to check the errors. So let us start with the video. So here we'll be talking about these two functions, that is isError and ifError. Here it says that both isError and ifError are the functions in Microsoft Excel which are used to handle errors, but they work slightly different. So both are almost doing the same thing, but they are slightly different. So we'll also see the differences between the isError and the ifError. First of all, we'll start with the isError function. So what is the purpose of isError function? It checks whether a formula results in an error. So in case of Excel, we are having various kind of error. Let's say one of the error is division by zero. Another error is not available. Then the third error is value, and so on. Okay. So if we want to check whether this formula will result in an error, then we want to check it with the isError function. It returns true if there is an error, otherwise it is false. Often combined with if statement to display the custom results when errors occur. So we use the isError function with the if function. The syntax of the isError is equal to isError bracket value. So here in the value we can put the expression or any cell to check whether that cell is containing the error or not. So we can also put here the cell reference here within this isError function. Now let us see the example of isError, and then you will be clear with this function. So let's say here we are having the numerator and we are having the denominator. So now I want to divide this numerator by the denominator. So here I'll be writing the formula with the help of the isError. It says you are dividing numbers, but some denominators are 0. You can see that these two denominators are 0. Now see, anything divided by 0 will give you the division by 0 error or divide by 0 error. So here it says you want to show error instead of the Excel error message. So normally if we don't take care of this error, then Excel will show us the error. But we don't want to see that error. We want to see in a proper manner. So now here in this cell, that is D35, I'll be typing the formula equal to, I'll start with the if function, because as I said earlier that normally the isError is written with the if function. So I type with if function equal to if, press tab. Now we have to write down the logical test. So in the logical test, I'll write down here isError. Inside the if function, we write down the isError function. Now what we want to do here, we want to go for the division. That is 100 divided by 5. So isError bracket. Now here I'll be taking this cell, that is B35, which is the numerator, slash for division. And then I take this C35 bracket complete. Okay, so this is my logical test. So now this is error, what it will do, that it will check whether this B35 is divided by C35, whether it is giving you an error or not. If it is giving an error, then it shows you that error. So here after this logical test, I put comma, and now here I'll be writing, let's say if it is showing you some error, then it should give me some message like error. Okay, so if this is true, is error bracket P35 divided by C35. If it is true, if it is giving some error, then it should show me this message error. Otherwise, it should just show me the value. Okay, so let's say here 100 divided by 5, it will give me the answer 20. So it should just show me the answer here. So comma, and then I write down here B35 slash C35, bracket complete. If this division will give me an error, then it will show me this message error. Otherwise, it will just show me the value B35 divided by C35. So that's all. Press enter, and now you see here that we are getting here the answer 20. Now what we'll do, that we'll drag the formula down, and when we drag the formula down, now see here we can get the error, and here also we get the error. So at both the places we are getting the error message, because here we are getting the denominator which is equal to 0, and here also it is 0. So it is anything divided by 0 will give you the error. So this is how we are using the is error function to check the error. Now we come to the if error function. So in the if error function, it says here that what is the purpose here? Simplifies error handling. So we'll see the difference also between the is error and if error, but normally the if error, it simplifies the error handling. Then it returns a specified value if a formula results in an error, otherwise return the formula's result. It was introduced in Excel 2007 and newer. So here also you can say that if error is also checking the error. If there is an error, it will show you that message if you want to show some message like say error message, or it will show you the value if there is no error. So now here we are having this syntax that is equal to if error bracket. You have to put up the value. Value means it can be a formula or expression to evaluate. And then if there is some error here which is created by that formula or expression, then we can show here some kind of a message that there is an error, so that people can see that okay, when they see the message there is an error, so they will get some idea here. Value if error means the result to return if there is no error. So now let us understand with an example. So here I am taking the same example which I have taken above, but here what we'll be doing, we'll be directly typing the if error. So I write down here equal to if error. Now in the if error, I have to put the expression or formula. So what I want to do, I want to take this cell divided by this cell. So B72 divided by C72, comma. Now if there is an error here because of this expression, then it should show me here message. It should show me some message here, error, bracket complete. So you see here that this if error function, it is much more simpler to write compared to the is error function. So equal to if error bracket, whatever the thing that you want to do here. Here we want to do the division, this B72 divided by C72, and if it creates an error, then it should show me the error message here like this. Otherwise it will directly do the calculation here. So I press enter, and now here we get the 20 because it is 100 divided by 5. It will give you directly the answer 20. There is no error. But when I drag the formula down, then here you can see that we are having the error message because it is having denominator equal to 0. This is how we are using the if error. Just compare this formula with the if error formula. So if error formula is very, very short compared to the is error. And for if error, we don't require any if function. We can directly type the if error function. But for is error, normally we write down with the if function. Now let us finally see the differences between the is error and the if error. So is error plus if function. Here we go for the combination. So that is the older system. While the if error is much more simpler. Is error plus if function, it requires two functions combined, as we have seen earlier. While if error, it requires only one function, that is the if error function. Is error plus if, it works in all Excel versions, while if error, it is available from Excel 2007, but we don't have to worry because currently we are in 2025. So in all the Excel versions that we use currently, it will work. Okay, but the minimum version that you should have is Excel 2007. The is error plus if is more flexible for complex logic, while if error is easier and faster to write. That is what we have seen in the example also. Yeah, it is very, very short, very simple, and it is also easier to write and faster to write. That is the if error function. So friends, here we have seen the differences between the is error and the if error. Normally, I would suggest you to write down the if error function when you are having a choice, but it depends. Whenever you are having some kind of a complex logic, then you can also use the if error function. Now, in the next video, I'll be talking about the not function, and also I'll be discussing one another function known as if and a. If and a. So see you in the next video. Thank you very much.
Hello friends. In continuation with the previous video where I talked about the two functions that is known as is error and the if error. Now in this video I'll be talking about two more functions, two more logical functions that is known as not function and the if and a function. So let us see practically that what are these two functions and how we can use it in the Microsoft Excel. So first of all, we'll be talking about the not function. So the not function in Microsoft Excel is a logical function that reverses the logical value of its argument. Now let us understand that what do you mean by reversing the logical value. So here it says if the argument is true, then not will return false. If the argument is false, then not function will return true. So whatever is available in the solution, not function will just make it reverse. It is mainly used when you want to test the opposite of a condition. So here I'm giving one very simple example, that is we are having here true in this cell and false in this cell. So here I write down equal to not, press tab, and in the not function we have to use the logical. So I'll select this cell here, that is B17 cell, bracket complete, press enter. So see now what we are getting here, we are getting the answer here false. So not of true is equal to false. And now here in this cell, if I type equal to not, press tab, and if I select this cell, that is B18 cell, bracket complete, press enter. So not of false is true. So whatever is available here, it will just make it opposite. So true will become false and false will become true. This is the simplest example of not function. But now let us go further here. So here we are having a scenario where you want to display fail if a student score is not greater than or equal to 50. That is, if the marks of the students are less than 50, then the student will be failing. If it is more than 50, then he or she will be passing. We'll take this example where we are having the students and their marks are written out of 100. Now here we'll be using the combination of not function and the if function. In this cell, that is D34, I'll be typing here equal to if, press tab, and now I have to write down the logical test. So I'll be writing here not function, bracket, and then I'll be selecting this cell here, that is C34, and I have to check whether C34 is greater than or equal to 50, because we want to check the marks whether they are greater than or equal to 50. If it is greater than or equal to 50, then the result will be pass. If it is less than 50, then the result will be fail. Now see here what I'm doing, I'm not simply writing if C34 is greater than or equal to 50. What I'm typing here, first of all, before this C34, I'm typing here not. So not of greater than or equal to 50. So if your marks are not greater than or equal to 50, then what should be the result here? I put here comma, and what will be the result here? It will be fail. Okay, just understand this thing that we are putting here not function. If I would have kept here directly if bracket C34 greater than or equal to 50, then I would have written here first of all pass and then fail. Yeah, but here we are writing this is not. So whatever is written in this bracket, we are just taking its opposite. So if the student marks are not greater than or equal to 50, what should be the result? The result has to be fail, comma, and now if this is false, yeah, if it is not greater than or equal to 50 means it will be greater than or equal to 50. So if this is greater than or equal to 50, then the result will be pass. And see here I'm writing fail and pass into double quotes. This I've already talked about in the if function. So if you have not seen that video, please check out that video separately. So here I've completed the bracket, and now this is how we use the not function. So not function will take opposite of this, whatever is written in the bracket. So equal to if bracket not bracket C34, that is this score, if it is greater than or equal to 50, if it is not greater than or equal to 50, then it should be fail, and otherwise it should be pass. I press enter. So see, this is pass because it is greater than or equal to 50, and now I drag the formula down like this, and now here I'm getting fail because this is 40. Here also I'm getting fail because it is 30, while rest we are having here pass, pass, pass. So friends, this is how we will use the not function. Normally we use the not function along with the if function. So let us go further here now. So we'll take now the second function here in this video, that is if na function. Now what is this if na? The if na function in Microsoft Excel is used to handle the na error specifically. Okay, so not available error. It lets you return a custom value when a formula results in not available while leaving other errors unchanged. So here we'll be writing like this, the syntax of this if na equal to if na bracket, we'll be putting some formula or expression, and if this formula expression is returning us specifically na error, then we can mention here that what we want to show as a message. Okay, earlier in the is error and if error, we put the error message as error. So here also we can put some error message if this formula or expression is returning some na value. Now here it says when to use if na. When you use formulas like VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, match function, and the value you are searching for isn't found. So normally we use also this if na function with the VLOOKUP function and the HLOOKUP or match function. After these logical functions, I'll be creating separate videos on VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, match function, index function. Okay, so we'll be having the separate thing. So there also I'll be showing you this example of if na. When you want to display a custom message, example not found, instead of showing NA, because see, normally whenever we see these kind of error NA as the final result, we don't like this thing. So instead of NA, we can also have some kind of a message that is not found or missing value or whatever. Yeah, so this is how we are using the if NA function. Now let us take one example here. So here we are going with the same example that we have taken in the earlier video in the is error and if error. So here I want to divide the numerator by the denominator, but here we'll be using the if na. And also you can see that some of these denominator, they are not having any value. They are having this na in the denominator. So definitely when you are having na in the denominator, then definitely here will be by default will be getting the na error. But we don't want to see the na error. We want to see some kind of message. So let us type here the formula. So here in this cell, that is D73, I type here equal to if NA bracket. Now I have to put the formula here. So I'll select this B73 slash C73. So 100 I have to divide by 5, comma. Now if this B73 divided by C73, if one of the value is not having the value, that is it is not available, then what I want to see as a error message, missing value. Okay, I can write down here missing value, or I can write down here data missing in the double quote. Remember that this double quote, because we are typing here the text, so we have to put double quotes. So in the double quotes I have written here data missing bracket complete, and that's all. Okay, now again I'm repeating in this particular video that here I have put semicolon, but in your Excel version you have to put comma, because I'm using the German version, so I'm putting here semicolon, okay, and not comma, but you have to put comma here. So equal to if NA bracket B73, that is numerator divided by denominator. If there is some problem with the NA error, then it should show us this message data missing. Press enter. So here we get the answer 20. This is correct. Yeah, 100 divided by 5, it will give you the result 20. Now I drag the formula down, and now here I'm getting that message data missing, because here I'm having that no value. Okay, it is having NA. So that's why here I don't want to see that NA. I want to see this message data missing. So immediately this will come up in my eye, and I can see that okay, what is the problem here? This is where we are using this if NA. Now let us see here the difference between the if NA and the if error. So in the previous video I also talked about that if error. Please check out the video. The link I put up over here on the top. If NA, it handles only the NA error, just NA error. If you are having any other errors like this division by 0 or value error, then it will not check. That is this if NA. While if error, this if error function can check all the errors, including the NA error also. Okay, so if error is much more stronger or much more powerful than the if NA. If NA is better when you want to ignore only the NA errors, but still see other errors useful for debugging. So I would suggest that rather than using the if NA, you can go for the if error, because if error function will take care of all the errors. But here I wanted to show you one example of if NA. Now finally, you must have seen these two errors also, division by 0. What is division by 0? If you are having 0 in the denominator, then definitely it will give you the error, that is you cannot divide by 0. Anything divided by 0 is infinite. So that is what we mean by this division by 0 error. Now what is this value error? If you don't know about this value error, then let me explain you this value error. So the value error in Microsoft Excel occurs when there is a wrong data type used in a formula or function. Meaning Excel cannot perform the calculation because it expects a number text or other valid data type, but receives something incompatible. Now see, this is a very long definition. Let us see it by example and then it will be clear for you. So let's say here I'm adding these two values, A1 plus B1. Now A1 cell is containing 5, which is a number, and B1 cell is containing this text, which is known as hello. Now see, you cannot add the number with the text. Okay, it has to be number with number. So whenever you are having these kind of situation and when you go for this kind of addition, then definitely you'll be getting the value error whenever the two things are not having the same data type. So then you'll be getting the value error. So remember this value error. Okay, I felt that you may not be having this idea about this value error, so that's why I covered this value error in this particular video. So I hope that this not function and the if and a function is clear. Now we'll continue further with the more logical functions in the upcoming videos. See you in the next video. Thank you very much. Hello all, welcome back to the channel. If you are working in Excel and still using Ctrl plus V to paste, you are missing out on one of the most powerful features Excel has to offer. Today, we are diving into Paste Special, the secret weapon that lets you do so much more than just paste. Whether you are copying just the values, formats, formulas, or even transposing data, Paste Special can save you tons of time and headaches. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how and when to use Paste Special to take your Excel skills to the next level. So grab your spreadsheet, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and let's get started. So friends, let us start with the practical part of this Paste Special. You can see that I've created a table. So this table is containing the employee numbers, then employee name, gross salary, the taxes, net salary, and the location. Now this is an imaginary table, you can say like that, with the imaginary data, dummy data. Here I have kept all the gross salary, which are currently shown in dollars. Then I have calculated here the tax. So here I have placed the formula. If I double click over here, so then it is 10% of this 60,000. So that is, here it is 6,000 and so on. I have created this formula and I have placed it over here in this taxes column. Now what is the net salary? Net salary is equal to the gross salary minus the taxes. So here it is 60,000 minus 6,000, that is 54,000. Okay, so this is 1,000. In my previous video I have mentioned that in Germany, whenever we put the 1,000 separator, that is comma, here in Germany we put it dot. So this is the table. Now what I want to do, that I want to, let's say, copy this table and I want to paste it somewhere down below. If I select this whole table, then I go for Control C, and now I go down and let me paste over here the table. So here I select this particular cell and then I go for Control V. I press Control V and now this table is over here. This is the normal copy and paste that we know in Microsoft Excel. But apart from this normal pasting, we also have a Paste Special. So let us see those various options that we have in the Paste Special. So let me undo this step here. So now already this table is selected and it is already copied. So now I will select this particular cell and now I will right click over here. When I right click here, I can see here Paste Special. So in the Paste Special, I am having these options like paste, then we have formulas. You see that how these things are working here. Let me right click again here, Paste Special. In the Paste Special, we have here the normal pasting, which is having everything. Then I can put the pointer over here, that is the formulas. Now see here, if I select this formulas option, then here the formula has also been copied. So let us see, if I double click this particular cell, I can see the formula. If I double click over here, here also I can see the formula, that is G20 minus the H20. So here the formula is also copied, so I can also use it somewhere down below. Now let me undo. Now what I'll do, I will again select this cell, right click, go to Paste Special, and now here we have another option, that is formulas and number formatting. Now see, what is this number formatting? As you can see that here I have placed the dollar sign. I've done some kind of formatting here because whenever we want to show the salary, then we put here the dollar or euro or whatever the local currency you have. This is the number formatting which I've done here. So if I again right click here, go to Paste Special, then here I can see this option, that is keep source formatting. So in the source formatting, it shows me below the whole source formatting. Then this option, that is known as the no border. So you paste it, but there should not be any border. So here you can see that I have created here a border, just to show you again. So here there is some dark border. So if I want to paste everything, and then if I do not want to see the border, then that is also possible. So let me again select this whole table, right click, copy, and then I come over here and then I right click, paste special, and now here we see no border below. Then another option is keep source column width. So whatever the column width that is available in the source, that same column width, if you want to have it in this the other table also, that is also possible. And then we have here the transpose. Now this transpose is very, very interesting. So see, just now my table is vertical, but if I want to keep it horizontal, then that is possible. So if I click here transpose, so now this whole table has been now created horizontally. So here the table is kept horizontal. So if you want to have these kind of table, then that is also possible. Now let me select here one more cell, right click, and now if I go to paste special, then here we have this option. Next option is values. If you want to just have the values, no formatting, then I can click this option here, values. Another option that we have here is values and number formatting. If I want to have the number formatting also, that is if I want to see the dollar sign and also I want to have all the values, then that is also possible here. I can click this option. The third option here, it is values and source formatting. If I want to have the values also, if I want to have the source formatting. So let us click this option, values and source formatting. If I double click this particular cell, you see that there is no formula. It is just taking here the number 5000. Okay, so there is no formula here. So I have not copied the formula. I have just copied the formatting of the previous table, and I also copied the values. That is the difference that we have over here. So let me undo here. Now if I again right click, paste special, and now let us go to this option here. So here we have the option of just formatting. Suppose if you want to just bring the formatting from the previous table, so that is also possible. I can just click here formatting, and now only the formatting has come, no values, no number formatting, nothing. Yeah, so this is also possible here. Then another option, if I click here, right click, paste special, and now here we can also paste some link. Suppose if I've created some link, see that hyperlink and other things, I'll be creating another video for that. But suppose if you have created some link, that link can be pasted here, or if you have put some picture, that also can be pasted, or if you have a picture with the link, so that is also possible. So this linking and the picture, this will be created in another video. So we are having these options here. Yeah, suppose if I click here paste special, then this dialog box will come up, and whatever the option that we have seen up till now, all these options are also shown here. All formulas, values, format, comments and notes. If you have put some comments and notes, that can also be copied and pasted. Validation. Now there is another topic, very, very interesting topic known as data validation. So data validation topic I'll be taking in another video. It's a very, very important topic. Plus all these other options are available here. Now we will focus on this operation area here. In the operations we have none, add, subtract, multiply, and divide. Let us see this option here. Transpose we have already seen just now in the previous example, and skip blanks. Skip blanks means suppose if you are having some blank records in your table, and if you want to just skip those blank records, then that is also possible here. But now we'll focus on this area. So I click on cancel. Now here I'm having one example. Here I'm having a table. So this is a small table which is containing some sales which has happened in Mumbai city and some sales which has happened in Delhi city. Now what I want to do, that I want to add the Mumbai sales into the Delhi sales. Okay, I want to simply add this 100 to this 50. So now finally it should become here 150. This 200 I want to add with 60, so here it should be 260 finally. So this kind of paste special is also available. So what I do now here, I select all these cells. Then I go for Control C, Control plus C, as you know, that's a shortcut key for copying. So I select all these cells, go for the shortcut key Control plus C, and now I select here one cell. You can also select one cell. It's not compulsory that you have to select everything here. I select this one cell here, which is M5, and now I go for right click, paste special, and in the paste special I click here this option, and now here I go for this option add, operation add. I click on OK button, and now you see all these numbers have changed. Here we were having initially 50, so 50 has become 150, here 60 has become 260, and so on. So we can also do these kind of pasting. Here I have shown you the addition of one column to the other column, but I can also go for subtraction, division, multiplication, all those basic operations that we can do over here. So this is a very, very good technique. Yeah, remember this thing, that whenever we want to copy the values from one column, and if you want to paste it into another column, and if you want to go for the operations like addition, multiplication, division, subtraction, then that is also possible here. Now we go for the final topic here, that suppose if I want to copy one particular word or anything, and that word or whatever that table is there, if I want to paste it into multiple sheet, okay, so here I am having 3 sheets, New York, Toronto and Delhi. So I want to, let's say, copy this table into 3 different sheets in one shot. So that is also possible here. So what we do, we select all these cells here, or we select the whole table, Control C, and now after going for Control C, I select this 3 sheets one by one by pressing the control button. So you select one sheet, let's say I select here New York sheet. Now I press the control button on my keyboard, and now I select here Toronto, Delhi. And now I can select one cell over here, some random cell, and now I'll be going for the control V. So I go for control V, and now you see that this table has been pasted over here. So let us check now. If I go to New York sheet, then I can see the table, Toronto, also it is there, Delhi, it is also there. So in one shot, I can copy one table from one sheet and I can paste it into multiple sheets. So this is also a very good technique. Remember this technique. This will save a lot of your time. So friends, here we have seen the various examples of the paste spatial. So please do a lot of practice. And in the next video, I'll be talking about the advanced field series. We'll be talking about the various field series that we have in Microsoft Excel. Stay tuned to this playlist on Microsoft Excel, and let us meet in the next video. Thank you very much.
You've got a big new website idea and the team loves it. Instead of taking months to build it, why not just use Framer? With Framer, designing is building. No handoffs, no waiting. Build your full website.
Hello friends, welcome to this video. In this video, we'll be discussing about a concept of viewing the different Excel files. Suppose if we have opened 3-4 Excel files, and if we want to see all those Excel files together in one shot, then how we can view those Excel files in one screen. Also, I'll be showing you in this video that suppose in one Excel file, if we are having various sheets, so how to see those various sheets in one view. So let us start with our practical part. So here we are having one Excel file. If you have not seen this video on the various types of references in Excel, then please watch out this video. The link is available on the top. So in this video, I've talked about the 3 types of references that we have in Excel. One is known as relative reference, second one is known as absolute reference, and the third one is known as the mixed reference. So please see this video. It's very, very informative. Now coming to this particular topic of viewing the various Excel files in one shot, or if you want to view different sheets in one screen, then let us start. So here I've opened only one Excel file. Now in this Excel file, we are having these 3 different sheets, that is relative reference, absolute reference and mixed reference sheet. Now suppose if I want to see 2 sheets together, let's say I want to compare the relative reference and the absolute reference. So what I can do, that I can go to this view tab, come to the view tab, and in the view tab you are having one button here. First of all, we have to click here this button known as new window. So I click on new window. Now as soon as I click on new window, now what has happened here, that Excel has created 2 versions of this particular Excel file. So if I go down here, then you can see that I'm having here Excel reference is 1 and Excel reference is 2. So as soon as you click on that new window in the view tab, Excel will create 2 versions. Now what we'll do, that we want to see 2 sheets together in one screen. So I will go to the view tab. In the view tab, we are having this button which is known as arrange all. So if I click on arrange all, then here it is giving me the various options. Arrange how? Tiled, horizontal, vertical or cascade. Let me select here horizontal. So I click here horizontal, I click on OK button, and now you can see that these 2 sheets are shown horizontally. So I can also compare here this absolute reference, and here it is relative reference. So I can compare these things. Normally here it's not easy to compare. So what we can do, I can go to this view tab, arrange all, and when I click on arrange all button, then let me go for this vertical option. I click here vertical, click on OK, and now you can see these 2 sheets. Currently in this first sheet I'm having the absolute reference, here I'm having the relative reference, and I can compare. Now in this Excel file we also have one more feature, that is if I go to this button here window, in the window I'm having one option here, view side by side. If I click on view side by side, so this is one window, that is fine, but now here we are having another window. Let us also click here arrange all and vertical. Okay, so now both are vertical orientation. Now, when I go down here, you see that both these sheets are going together. If I go up, both are coming up together. So there is a synchronization here between the two sheets. And this is possible with the help of this button here. If I go to the Windows, in the Windows, we already have here this option synchronous scrolling. So whenever I go for this option, view side by side, then automatically synchronous scrolling is available. But suppose if I don't want to have synchronous scrolling between the two sheets, then I can click this button here, synchronous scrolling. So now synchronous scrolling is disabled. And now if I go down here in this one sheet, you see that the second sheet is still available here. This is what we mean by the removing the synchronization scrolling. Now if I want to get it back, I have to go again to this Windows button. In the Windows button, I'll click this option, synchronous scrolling. I click it, and now if I go down, you see that both the sheets are going up and down together. This is what we mean by the synchronous scrolling, and then view side by side. We can also go to again arrange all. In the arrange all, I can also go for this option cascade. If I click here cascade, okay. So see, cascade means one sheet is above the other sheet. This is the cascade option here. As you can see on the top left corner here, this is cascade. Again, if I go to arrange all, and now if I click this tiled, I click on OK option. Now this is tiled. Now currently see, tiled means normally I'll be showing you another example where I'll be opening 4 Excel files together. There this tiled option will be much more clear. So here you can say that tiled and the vertical option are almost same, but yeah, definitely we'll see it in a separate example. So now this is what we mean by the seeing the two sheets together on one screen. Now let me close one of these view, and now I'm having this only one file, that is my Excel references file. Now we'll be going for the example of that if I have opened 3-4 Excel files and I want to see all those files together in one screen, then that is also possible. So I've already opened one Excel file. Now I will go to my folder and I will open the other files over here. See friends, I've created different videos on flash fill, paste special, then I've also created video on the advanced fill series. So please check out the series on this Microsoft Excel. It is very interesting and you will learn a lot of things here. One by one, I'm opening all these 4 Excel files. So total 4 Excel files are now opened. We are having Excel references file, then paste special, flash fill, and the advanced fill series. Let's say I want to see all these 4 files in one screen. So what I'll do that I'll go to one of these files. I'll go to the view tab, and in the view tab I click this button, arrange all. When I click on arrange all, I'm having the same options, tiled, horizontal, vertical, and cascade. Let me select here tiled. Okay, I click on OK button. So you see here, I can see the 4 Excel files. Now all these Excel files are not synchronized. Okay, they are all working separately. This is how we can see the 4 Excel files in one screen. Now if I want to change this layout, I can go to this Windows, I can click on this arrange all. In the arrange all, I can go for, let's say, vertical. Okay, all the files are vertical. It depends. Okay, it depends upon what you want to see in this particular file. Normally if you are having 3-4 files opened, then definitely you have to go for the tiled one. Again, if I go to one of these Windows, arrange all, in the arrange all, I will go for the cascade. Okay, so see, this is the cascade option again. So one file is over the other file. Again, if I go to arrange all, I go for, yeah, horizontal. I can also do the same thing, but let me go back to the tiled and click on OK option. And now we are having the tiled option here. These are some of the options that we have in Excel when we want to view the sheets together, or when we want to view the different Excel files together. So you can apply this technique and it will be very helpful. Now in the upcoming videos, I'll be talking about the concept known as freezing and splitting, and I'll be also talking about that how to adjust the various worksheets within one particular workbook. So please stay tuned to this series on Microsoft Excel, and I'm looking forward to see you in the next video. Thank you very much.